This next comic is from Boston, so you're gonna love her, Mr. Australia Man. Keep it going for Jennifer Dwyer!
So a little bit about me. I like to tell people that I'm a freelancer because I think it sounds better than just saying, I have 3 jobs and none of them give me health insurance. Right? Like my friends will say things to me and they'll be like, wow, you really have 3 jobs? You're crazy. And I'm like, me? You have 3 children. Of my friends that do have kids, they've told me it's really popular these days to use gentle parenting. Have you guys seen these people? Yeah. They're usually outside of grocery stores. They'll start by getting down on their kid's level, and then they'll say something like, Bo, go get your brother Arrow. And then they'll give them 2 choices. They can either hop to the car, or they can skip to the car, whatever their preference. I wasn't raised like this. If my parents said get in the car, we ran to the car because my dad was already leaving. I was actually on the phone with my mother the other day, and I told her I'd been saving up my money and I was thinking about getting Invisalign. Her immediate reaction was, ugh, at this point, just put it towards freezing your eggs. I said, well, I had a plan. My plan was if I corrected my overbite, maybe I would get a boyfriend. She desperately wants a grandchild, right? All of her friends her age have one. That and shingles. Dating's really tough though, you know? Like, I haven't said I love you since 2017. And I haven't meant it since 2009. It's hard to find time to go on dates too. Like last summer I tried to go out with this guy 3 different times and we kept having to reschedule. Like the first time he got sick, the second time he was gonna be on vacation, the third time I went to rehab for a month. I know, schedules are so crazy. I actually went to something known as a dual diagnosis treatment center. So you have to have 2 qualifying conditions to get in. And I used to drink every day and at night. So that, coupled with my lifelong crippling anxiety, got me into the door. And then while I was there, I was also diagnosed with OCD. So I like to say I went in a dual patient, but I left a triple threat. I was pretty popular when I was there too, like I don't want to brag, but I was asked out on 4 dates. Like 2 guys, but multiple personalities. So one of my jobs is I work in the restaurant industry. I'm a bartender, and people always ask me if it's difficult to be a sober bartender. They're like, isn't it kind of hard? Like you can't taste the drink, you can't see if it's a good recipe. And I'm like, well, taste is only one of our 5 senses. Like I can use my other senses, right? I can look at the drink, see if the color looks right, I can smell the drink. Woo, that's a Cosmo. And I know because I had 5 and then I tripped up the escalator at the casino. So working in the restaurant industry and being in your 30s basically is like veteran status. So it's all the PTSD and none of the benefits. I like to work with younger kids though, it keeps me really like hip and cool. I was working with this girl and she was a lot younger than me and she kept seating me tables of 2. Now if you've ever worked in the restaurant industry, you know this is less than ideal. And so she was like, Jennifer, there's 2 in the dining room for you. There's gonna be 2 on the patio. Oh, and Jennifer, don't forget there's 2 in the dining room. And I was like, what gives, Becca? We're just gonna call this my Noah's Ark shift. 2 by 2 by 2. And this 19-year-old child looked me in the eyes and goes, Noah's what? I was like, you know, like from the Bible. She goes, oh, I don't know, I wasn't raised judicious. That's okay. One more thing about me, I like to watch sports, but I don't like know any of the players' names or anything like that. And one time when I was a kid, I was at the mall, and there was this big long line of people. So I was like, what are you guys waiting for? They're like, oh, blah, blah, blah's here. We're gonna get our picture taken. I was like, I wanna do that. So I waited in line, I got to the front, I saw that it was a Celtics player. I posed for the picture, and then I showed it to my best guy friend. He was like, no way you met him. I said, I know, Paul Pierce. He looked at me horrified and said, "That's John Cena." In a Paul Pierce jersey. All right, guys, that's my